Hi, folks. Welcome back to another episode of Finding Data Friends. We've got a brand new friend here to join us today. Pragati, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for joining us. How are you
Thanks.
doing? And will you tell us a bit about you?
Yeah, thanks, Jess. Thanks, Pan. I'm quite glad to be here. So yeah, I'm doing good. Just middle of my work today. So yeah, doing some exciting stuff at work, but yeah, pretty good today.
Awesome. Well, one of the first questions we like to ask on the podcast is maybe related to that interesting stuff at work. But what is your favorite data thingy?
So I work mostly with Power BI. I mean, in Power BI, I've got too many things that are my favorite, but I think one of my favorite thing is conditional formatting in Power BI. I really like to use that feature in Power BI to, present data in a very different way that people don't, sometimes realize how effective that data could be and how it could be telling a good story. So yeah, that's my favorite feature in Power BI.
Perfect. Now, me and Ben are very have a high level of expertise in Power BI, but I have used Excel and conditional formatting in Excel. So is that the same idea, like depending on how
Yeah,
the data lays, different formatting?
exactly. That obviously Power BI has got so many things from Excel, right? So if you have used Excel, then yeah, it has got the same background, I mean, logic behind getting those conditional formatting done. So basically, you set rules like you do it in Excel and get different colorings on your data points. So yeah,
Okay.
very same. Yeah.
Awesome. So what's a good example of using that for like a report?
Yeah, so like mostly I like to use, like, for example, for showing some kind of using some kind of say icons on the report. Like for example, if my sales have gone above say a certain level, then I show like a green indicator or something, green arrow
Hmm.
going upwards. Then if it has gone below some threshold value, then it's below arrow, I guess. So yeah, something like that. So I really like to use icons in the conditional formatting, but in many cases I end up using the background formatting as well. But when you keep in mind accessibility while creating reports, so as part of I think best practice, it's really recommended to use icons rather than those background or font color formatting, because
Mm,
those colors might just appear confusing to some people. So yeah, I prefer using icons more, which are more clear to the wider audience.
perfect. I'd probably use emojis.
Okay. I've used that once.
I'm with
That
you on
last
that.
one.
Yes,
Smiley
I,
face,
I
accessible.
have been
Sad
told it
face.
doesn't look professional, but I mean, people just have no idea. There can be very
Yeah.
professional emojis.
Yeah. If
I
things
think we
are
should get a
going in
set of.
right way, right? You use like a hey, happy face. If things are bad, something like that.
Yeah.
It might work, I guess.
Angry.
Just use the. If things are really going bad, just use the poop emoji. That's what I would do. But
Perfect.
again,
Gosh. No, I'm not using that pen.
Like maybe it could get
maybe
bigger
you
for the worse
should.
it is.
Yeah.
No, I actually know a lot of people that are opposed to using icons and only use colors, but I'm
Mhm.
entirely with you on that one because colorblind, well, not even necessarily
Yes.
colorblind, but even if it's just a slight impairment when it comes to how
Yes.
people see color, that makes a big difference, which,
Exactly. And especially
um,
when you have like conditional formatting on fonts, it is very
Mm.
terrible in some cases. You should never do that, I would say. I mean, background color formatting still might make sense, but when you do use that on fonts, it's like very bad. So yeah. I think it in the end depends on what kind of users you have, right? And then based on that, you try to bring those elements into your report. Like, for example, if our users are like who have those kind of challenges, then it's always good to have the icons there. But suppose if your users are not that way as well, but still it's good to have those accessible features built in your report, because you never know in future your users might expand. So yeah. It's
Mm-hmm.
just like
Yeah, for
something
sure.
I'd like to put in the reports, yeah, from starting.
your users might expand or they just may not want to put themselves on the spot
Exactly.
and tell you that they have no idea what they're
Mm-hmm.
seeing because they're
Exactly.
not seeing it.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
another reason. Yeah. Ben.
It is one of
That's,
these things that nobody needs to be ashamed of, but many people
yeah.
still are
Yeah.
for, again, no proper reason, but there's no way we can change that. Um,
Exactly. Yeah, but I think it's
so
it's more like being a developer. I just find myself responsible for doing that, because if
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing something, creating something for the end users, I should keep few things in mind once that solution is delivered to the consumers, right? So yeah, I think it's just part of the habit or part of the way I work. And yeah, it's just well accepted. So yeah, I continue doing that, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like by making things more accessible too, you're never going to upset people, but you are going to include far more people in
Exactly.
being able to read that report, right? So yeah,
Exactly.
that's good. Cool.
Well, sometimes the
Awesome.
higher up you get the food chain, there's people telling you that they've been doing it for the past 20 years like this, and that's why you have to keep doing it like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, well,
Yeah. I guess it just works the other way.
let's use a very light
Put
gray on
everything
an even
peacefully.
lighter gray background. How's
Yeah.
that?
Sorry, say that again, Ben.
Light gray font on an even lighter gray background. Zero contrast, because that way we basically get an encrypted report. How cool is that? Encrypted address.
Secure.
Right.
Exactly. Now we're introducing the security layer to the accessibility and visualization layer. I mean,
Amazing.
Wow.
I think, Jess, we are Power BI people after all. We just had no idea.
We just didn't know it.
You guys just gave me
Amazing.
another idea to try out.
Uh-oh.
I may try something.
I apologize in advance, but
Yeah.
I guess it is what it is at this point.
No, but you never
Um,
know because these days you can achieve many things you never think of. So you never know. We might come up with something like that.
True. I
Yeah.
mean, Jess and I basically just agreed that we will be submitting a Power BI pre-con to a couple of
Yeah.
conferences, right?
I'm
Wow.
heading over to my LinkedIn profile now to add some skills.
I look
Exactly.
forward to your pre-con abstracts, guys. I mean, when it's accepted somewhere. Yeah, definitely
Yeah,
coming.
see, and this
Coming to
is
your
where it gets
pre-con.
tricky. I don't see it getting accepted. Well, maybe I'll just submit it to one of my own conferences. That increases my chances
Ah,
tremendously.
Oh, then it will be definitely
perfect.
accepted, right, Ben?
I hear Greenland will have a pre-con next year.
I was
We
gonna
usually
say, I
don't do
feel like
that,
drilling.
but it has just been changed. Announcing today.
Cool.
It's already been selected. No need to submit your ideas.
Exactly. We're
Definitely look
full.
forward. Definitely look forward to your
No,
pre-con
no,
then.
no. The thing is, it just wouldn't be fair to accept other submissions because who would want to see any other pre-con if they can get to see
Get
us
you.
talk about Power
Yeah.
BI for a
Yeah,
day, Jess?
exactly. Exactly.
What a
I would
joy.
attend that pre-con. I'll attend that pre-con.
Perfect.
There is
Our
this
first
German
attendee is
saying.
signed up.
I'm not sure it exists in English or if there's an equivalent, but it basically translates as that's like a blind person talking about colors, and
Mhm.
that's basically us. We got the title for the pre-con.
What is the word in German? Is it just one word?
Yes, yes, it's very long, has lots of umlauts, and we usually shout it at people because that's part of our language culture.
Perfect.
By the way,
That can
this
be
is
the
one of
title for
these.
this podcast.
Exactly. This is one of the situations where we digress a bit that we've been talking
Ah,
about. Getting back on track. I have no idea how to segue into the next question, but I guess at this point we'll just wing it. So, if you're not visualizing data, if you're not working with data at all, what is your favorite non-data thing to do in the world? It can be a hobby, can be an
Ah.
activity, can be.
I mean, yeah, apart from visualization, for me, data modeling is the other thing that I like to do. I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if you'd say it as a non-data thing. I
I
mean,
was going
if
to
it
say
is,
that still feels very data.
yeah, it still
I
feels
mean, it
very
literally has
data.
data in the name, so
Yeah. I mean, non-data thing, I can tell about my hobbies. I mean, I paint. I paint actually. So whenever I get some
aha.
free
Oh,
time, I end up painting. And I've got my own Instagram page as well, where I have put some of my artwork there. I mean, obviously, it's just what I do in my free time. I like to read books sometime, listen some nice music, or go and have a walk in the garden. So I think those are the non-data things I do apart from my daily work. So yeah, that's what I like.
that feels like it fits much better in the non-data category
Oh,
than data modeling.
exactly. Oh, yeah, exactly. I think I should have said that first. Sorry about that.
That's all right. What kind of painting are we talking? Like painting the walls?
No, so I generally do it on canvas. So it's like acrylic painting on a canvas.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it's like a typical art which is known as mandala art. It is quite famous in India. I mean, you might have seen few things in coming from the Buddhism religion or Jainism religion in India. Even in Hindus, they use some kind of mandala art. So it's like inspired by so many things, and I really like that art because it requires a lot of technical stuff behind it, like you literally go and create. Everything is uniform in that art. If you create a circle within circle, it has to be uniform. If you divide a circle,
Mm,
it has to be uniform in different sections. So
okay.
I don't know, somehow that's how my mind works, and that's how maybe I ended up into visualization industry because I like things to be very perfect, and that's why that art is very much I relate to. I mean, yeah. I mean, I can't explain that much, but I really like playing around with colors because colors just relax my mind. So, yeah, just go and do something apart from daily work.
Very cool. I like it.
I was going to say, I see a lot of parallels between your visualization daily work and especially
Yeah,
the type of paintings and arts you've just
Yeah.
described. So,
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. It's related because I like things to be perfect most of the time. So that's why I like creating that art, which is very uniform. You need all the mathematical tools to actually make the base of that art, like compass, rules, scales, and everything, right? Because you need to literally measure every sector within a circle to make sure it's aligned, it's of same size. So if you guys remember our kids, I mean younger time when we were in school, we were using all type of, like compasses and proctors and all that stuff to make like a very aligned and uniform circle with all the sectors divided into it at different angles, right? Those kind of things, arcs and all that stuff. So it's very much related to what I do in my daily life, but yeah, that's something I like to do outside my work basically.
very cool.
I feel like many of our guests have some kind of artistic talent. I mean, we got the
Wow.
band, we got the theater group. Not, uh,
Wow.
I think we already had somebody else doing paintings,
I think
but I
we did
don't
too,
remember.
but I can't remember
I
who it
don't
is.
remember who it was. I guess this is
Okay.
what's happening at episode 38. You do not remember every single detail of your guests anymore. It's a shame, and we
We
apologize.
have so many friends.
That's
There's that. I'm this close to actually building a data lake with all their information because it's just getting too much data. I can't handle all these friends
I'm
anymore.
using
So
Fabric now.
it's all going to one lake. I mean,
Oh
there's
yeah,
no security and
it
stuff,
should be
but
one lake.
other than that, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Wh- Which reminds me of a very fun demo Matt Mason did once at Power Hour. I'm going to say 10 years ago. Matt Mason was on the integration services team at that point, and Power
Okay.
Hour already had the idea of doing something entirely useless.
Yeah.
And Microsoft had just released the social media connectors. So, having that said, it was probably more than 10 years ago. Anyways, he built an integration services package that would basically look into Facebook, look for his friend requests, and would then look up if that person liked cats. And if yes, it would automatically accept it. And if not, it would redirect him to MySpace, which was pretty funny.
Okay.
Um, Except that,
The
like two or
only,
3 years
I
later,
think,
he told us that he'd never had a cat and it was all a lie. And
okay.
since then, we haven't
Oh,
spoken. So
unbelievable.
Yeah. I
it's
think for me,
unacceptable.
the only power hour I remember is at SQL Bits, which Microsoft Cat Team does. So that's the exciting thing for me. I really don't know how it used to be like 10 years or 15 years back.
I mean, you will be at the PASS Summit next week, and we're going to have a power hour there. So,
Yeah, I know there is one.
and there will be some very fun demonstrations. I've seen a couple of them
Yeah,
already.
I'm really looking forward to it because I've already attended this Power Hour at few conferences, and it's like pretty amazing way of showing things basically, which I would never imagine doing in a live demo, right? Like especially Adam and Patrick, how they are on the stage. They're
I
amazing
mean,
guys.
the
Yeah.
entire point is not to teach a product and not to teach something useful, but show something fun that you
Yeah,
can
but
make
show
with the
something. Yeah,
product. So,
yeah. So it's kind of really amazing.
it'll be fun. I promise.
Definitely. I look forward to Pass Summit because it will be my first in person Pass Summit. Last year I did it virtually. So, yeah, really looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Hopefully, the weather is not that cold in Seattle. That's the only thing I'm.
Well,
Uh,
Seattle, you never know. It might be beautiful, or we might be stuck in a blizzard for the next 18 weeks. So
oh
it's going to be
gosh.
something of either of the two or anything in between. That's basically the 75 options, I'm going to say.
Perfect.
Let's see. Let's see how it is. I've heard few things about Seattle's weather in November, but yeah, let's see how it is.
Yeah, fingers crossed it will be nice. It will be.
Yeah, it will be. I guess so.
All that talk about weather makes me hungry.
That was a great segue.
I know. I've
You
been
crushed
working
that
on
one. You
that
may have missed
for.
the first one, but that one was perfect.
But you get to
Are you?
ask the question, Jess.
You said you were asking the question. All right, I'll ask a
No,
question. Okay. Well, the final question for the podcast, and probably the most important, is what your favorite food is. And this could be something that you're taking me and Ben to dinner to eat, or you're making yourself, or you're just finding somehow. I'm not sure. But what
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
your
if you're just finding it somehow, I may have questions on where you found it. Just
It's
ideally
free
not on
food,
the
Ben. It's
traffic
fine.
cone.
Oh, okay.
No,
That
no, I
happened
won't
one
say.
time.
No, I won't say I'm finding. I mean, if I talk about my favorite food, like I come from Indian origin, right? So I really love all the Indian curries. I mean, I really don't know if you guys have ever tasted like, I mean, obviously I'm a pure vegetarian, so my curries are going to be very different to what you guys might eat in an Indian restaurant here. So like, for example, matar paneer with rice or pulav, something like that. But the quickest thing that I make on the daily basis is like baked pot of veggies with some cheese on it. That's my favorite thing that I quickly make like in 15 minutes every day in between of my meetings. I mean, I just put some veggies, some cheese, and suppose if I've got some leftover rice, I'll just put it in a baked dish, put it in the oven, and it's like ready in 15 minutes. And it's like the healthiest thing I could eat in a day, I guess. So
Sounds
yeah,
good.
that's my favorite go-to thing which I can quickly prepare. But when it comes to my favorite food, I'm more close to the Indian food. I always like to have like Indian curries with some rice or with some, bread. So that's my favorite food, I would say.
Oh,
Sounds
first of all, I
amazing.
like the vegetarian aspect of that. So
Yeah, yeah, I'm a pure vegetarian, so I don't eat egg as well, and no meat, no fish, right? So everything for me has to be vegetarian. Like, for example, you guys might get like a chicken tikka in an Indian restaurant, right? For me, it will be a paneer tikka, which is the vegetarian form of it. So I use cottage cheese in place of chicken to create that dish for myself. So yeah,
Perfect.
that's the vegetarian side of it.
Sounds good.
I like. It's also a good continuation of our biryani that we had a couple
Oh
of weeks
yeah.
back.
Mm,
Yeah,
very
biryani.
true.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure you have different varieties of biryani here, like lamb biryani, chicken biryani, I guess.
Yeah,
But
we
for
still
me,
don't know
this.
exactly what Deepthi will be preparing for us. We just know that she's going to make biryani for us, but we don't know
Oh
which one
wow,
exactly.
when is she making that? I should reach out to her.
And we
Are you
still have to
coming
figure
too?
it out.
The details are a little fuzzy still, but don't worry,
Yeah,
we'll
so
figure it
yeah,
out.
so I can actually make the vegetarian version of the biryani, which is yeah,
Perfect.
basically replace chicken or lamb with other vegetarian stuff like cottage cheese or paneer or something like that. But yeah, it's still tasty. Trust me.
I'm sure.
Sounds good.
Cool.
In the aftermath, again, we did this all wrong, Jess, because we should have made this like a cooking podcast where people actually
Mm,
cook for us.
yep.
And again, we would have needed to know that we're actually going to kidnap people before starting the entire thing, and that was more an organic
Yep.
thing that evolved out of people just hopping onto the van. So
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of planning, but maybe for season two, we'll tidy things up.
You can do
good,
it
good,
next time. Yeah, that's what. You call
exactly.
people with some dishes they have cooked, and then they can showcase.
Oh, by the way, since Pass Summit is next week, this is where Satan's Wing stickers will make their official debut.
Oh, wow.
Perfect.
Cool.
Having that said, it will be a fun and sticker-filled week. That's what I'm saying.
Stickertastic.
That should be a sticker.
It's too late now.
Stickerception.
It's next week.
Well, there's that. And I will most probably not come up with some overnight sticker design, printing, etc., etc. So, well, there's
Right.
always a next year, right?
Yes.
But I look forward to your stickers this year, Ben.
Oh, well, there will be
Oh,
stickers
there's
this
some
year,
good
and there will be
ones.
stickers next year. So,
Yeah,
so many of them.
cool.
Watch out for them in the community zone, people. They will be there.
Sure.
Mm,
I'll definitely visit Community Zone. I need to get some
Most
new
welcome.
stickers for my laptop. I got the
That's the
fabric
spirit.
one this year at Power
Yeah,
Platform
you can put my
Conference.
stickers over the fabric one. It's fabric is it's the F stands for phase, I guess. So
Let's see. Don't worry, I have space for your stickers, so it doesn't have to go
I
over.
was worried for a second. So, anyways, 15 minutes went by fairly quick again. So I'm going to say we're not going to have an episode next week because past summit. So we see you all again in 2 weeks. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and see you in 2 weeks. Or next week at the PASS Summit for those of you that will be there. Bye.
Perfect. Bye, folks.
Bye, everyone.